South moving. Hashtag the South. That is right. We are in the dirty South, North Carolina, Winston-Salem. Yes, a battery. It was a tough one, even though, yeah, battery. The vote to me, first off, the coverage of it was not very good, right? Not much was talked about. Unless I just totally missed it, which it could. I'm a busy boy, but like I was telling my friends, it was hard to even find out like when and where and what. It kept up about the winter committee. I didn't know it was going to be part of that, and they kind of shoved it in there. Then it was long-winded, and then they make a poor decision. One player out of that group, when they're all of them probably should be in. What's up, Victor? I to go about this where you're trying to get these guys in, just put them the F in. Mike made a point to call it is the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I even tried to Google it, and it kept telling me when the 26 when that was going to happen. And like, it didn't even, it talked about the committee, but it didn't never tell me when and where and how to watch it. I knew the list because I seen it a ways back, but I was still wanting to refresh my memory. What's up, Jeff? I love the fact that Jeff Kent got in. Love the fact. But see, he's one of those guys who should have been voted in by the writers, but they didn't like him because Jeff Kent was an asshole. He didn't get along with the writers. He didn't want to talk to them. So the prejudices of the writers of voting kind of screwed the pooch on this one. Hold on one second. I just want y'all to be ready for something. I know y'all haven't seen this person in a while. You won't see him tonight. You're going to hear him. But let's bring on this fella right here. And I'm hoping. Hold on. Look at that. Something move for you guys. Welcome to the show tonight, Mike.
What's up, Scott?
I'll let you have the floor 1 second. Because I know you're going to have a lot to say because you are passionate about the Hall. But I feel like by Jeff Kent not getting voted in by the writers during the time he should have been voted in, screwed it for a little bit for the other guys. And I don't know what Dale Murphy or Don Mattingly did to any of these people. For that case, Delgado, I just don't know. There is no rhyme or reason anymore how people get into the Hall of Fame. It's a popularity contest, it seems like. If not, Curt Schilling would be in. And I know it's an unpopular, but Bonds and Clemens should be in. They're already in there. And I've said it before. The guy that let the steroids happen, saved baseball, his plaque is on the wall, and that's the commissioner. So what's your thoughts, Mike? And welcome back, brother. I know you're busy and having a weekend off, and hope you got some rest. But what you got for us?
Well, it's good to be back. I feel like I haven't been on your show in like 5 years. It's been
I understand, and I know not everybody understands, but I know what's going on. Me and Mike we talk, and I understand, and that's all that matters, man.
It's just a lot going on, and then on top of that, very busy work-related stuff, and then the whole eBay store thing too takes up some of the free time, which I will be listing some Allen and Ginter cards on the store during the course of this broadcast, at least until my phone dies.
Right.
So if I disappear, that's why. Hall of Fame wise, I mean, like, I get it. There's going to be bunches. The regular ballot, the writers can vote for up to 10 guys. You have years like this year where there's no way there's 10 guys that that should be in the Hall of Fame. You want to toss votes for guys that you like or something, so be it. Now is one of the years to do it. I think Beltran's the only guy who's I think's like almost a lock to get in this year, and I think Andrew Jones has a really good chance. I think Chase Utley will make some momentum, but I don't see him making enough momentum to get in this year. And then guys like Alex Rodriguez aren't going to get in. At least I'd be stunned if he does. But you have years. I was looking up Carlos Delgado, and I think I shared it. Was that our one chat you're in, or was that a different one?
I think you threw up some stats for him.
Oh, so no, that was the so the year he fell off the ballot in his first year of eligibility, and I was like, that's ridiculous. And I looked it up. He finished 23rd in voting that year. And if you look at it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 guys who were on that ballot who ended up in the Hall of Fame, 4 of them that year. And then you have also guys like Schilling, Clemens, Bonds, Kent, Sheffield, McGuire, Mattingly, Sosa, and Nomar Garciaparra all finished ahead of him. So I get why he fell off, because he didn't deserve to fall off. He's someone who should have been on the ballot for years.
Right.
And I think should have been in. You look at his statistics, they're amazing. He's maybe not someone who your average baseball fan immediately thinks of because he played in Toronto for so long and then played with the Mets towards the end of his career. And he never reached the postseason until he was with the Mets. I looked up his numbers, and the limited time he played postseason baseball with the Mets, his numbers are fantastic.
Yeah.
But that was the reason he fell off, is there were so many guys who were either obviously ultimately Hall of Famers getting votes. So that's why that didn't work out for him. So it was good to see him get on, and he actually got at least some respect during this Veterans Committee. This Veterans Committee is a very flawed process here because you had 8 guys, and I think you said at the beginning, like all 8 guys you can make a case for that should be in the Hall of Fame. But there's 16 committee members, and they're only allowed 3 votes. So it's going to limit it. I knew it was only going to be 1 or 2, at most 3 guys. And the only way it would be 3 guys is kind of if they coordinated it.
Right. They all say, well, these are the 3 guys we're going to vote for because this is the 3. It's amazing to me that you have people, and we keep talking about Murphy and Mattingly, rightfully so. They have done things. Mattingly played on bad Yankee teams, bad, and we always think of the Yankees as just being this dominant force, and it hasn't just always been that way, right? So
just for a while.
Right. They were because they could buy teams in the 50s and 60s, and then they got a large pocketbook in the 90s and 2000s, but they still, in the modern age that we're in, they're not as dominant as everybody thinks they are, right? Yes, they make the playoffs more than everybody else, but
yeah, they haven't won since 2009. That's
right.
A long time.
You don't play for the playoffs. You play for the World Series. You play for the trophy. What's up, Doc? Battery, Zach. Nice to see you. Oh, hey, yeah, we got Mike back. But I just feel like
Carlisle with a great comment.
Huh? Carlisle, yes. At this point, I'm compromised and let Murphy go in as a Philly. I don't care. As much as I love seeing Jeff Kent again, I think he got screwed by the writers. They have to do something about, I think, the writers and how they vote. Either players get some Hall of Fame players get to vote during the regular thing. This is what I would love. Not many people know, there is, what are you signed up as with the Hall of Fame? Are you a season pass or VIP?
Something like that. I forget. Some sort of membership.
I would love for it to part of that membership, and this would probably boost the Hall of Fame getting more money to help them, is you get a vote. It's not weighted the same. It's like the All-Star.
Be like the Super Bowl MVP vote, where the fans get a vote, but obviously only counts as a percentage.
Yeah, like, a percentage, but it's a weighted vote, just so the fans, for heaven's sake, have a voice of who is in the Hall of Fame. For some reason, we're living in this past fantasy world of the sports writers having all this power for, to me, the greatest personal achievement in sports, which is the Hall of Fame. I feel like there's got to be something done for the modern stuff, and really to get these guys that right on the edge, the cusp. When you let in certain players, and you let in Harold Baines, you opened up a floodgate of people going, "What the hell's going on?" Because he had a person in the room that was rah-rahing him up. And, I guess Mattingly and these other guys and Murphy don't have the same thing. Again, Delgado is like Murphy. Came up as a catcher, moved positions to first, dominated as a hitter, power hitter. Murphy came up as a catcher, moved to the outfield because he couldn't throw to second base, and then was he a Gold Glover in the outfield? I know he, was All-Star, but I mean, he had a cannon, and just, it's a shame. And he played on some crappy AstroTurf in two different stadiums as home fields, Atlanta and Philly. Yeah, he was an AL champion. I mean, that tells you all you need to know, Eric. You had to reach to that. So it's like I don't, I didn't plan on just talking about this. I did make my thing that 'tis the season. It was a double. If you notice that I'm standing, I do have Christmas stuff on. Chad GTP did it for me, but I'm standing at the Hall of Fame in front of the plaques and plaque room. So, I knew I was going to talk about this. 5 consecutive Gold Gloves. I knew Battery would know. And he played in a bad that Atlanta and Philly. Both of those stadiums sucked for baseball. They've sucked for all sports at the time. So, it's hard. I feel bad for the Mattingly. Our buddy Hitman, friend of the channel, a frequent guest on here, which if he's listening, he's more than welcome to come on. Give us some grievance. Let it be a sounding board. I know he was on John's tonight, and I know they had some Murphy fans, and just having. I was hoping too. I was feeling good about two of the guys getting in, and Jeff Kent wasn't on my scorecard for being one of the two. I really thought it was going to be Delgado and Mattingly. That's who I thought. And but we don't know. It's like our friend Ed in the group chat before we got on. He thinks this is going to help Utley. I don't know if it does or not.
They're different players. Like Jeff Kent was a power guy, and Utley hit home runs in his day, but I mean, I guess the thing with Kent has always been he's got the most home runs for any second baseman, but
this is true. It's a story.
I don't know. I just think at this point it's frustrating because I'm sure in a way baseball and the Hall of Fame loves having the constant passionate debate, people being upset and people tuning in every year. But like I've said, I mean, that's one of the things that I like the numbers, and I'll look at the numbers, and there's all sorts of numbers to look at, right? There's the compilation of numbers. There's the quality of years. Like, some people will argue, they'll go back and forth. They're like obsessed with Sandy Koufax, but then they'll ignore the short dominant part of a career because all of a sudden they got a problem with Don Mattingly or something. There's not a whole lot of people who are consistent, but I think the level of dominance over a period of time, longevity plays a role too as well. The compilation of numbers, but
the longevity just kills me when it comes. I know longevity helps with the numbers game, but I think that's too much of it. You touched on, I forget, on one of you said this is the Hall of Fame, not the Hall
Well,
of
yeah,
Numbers.
that's where I was going to get to. I think what
I'm
you do
sorry.
for, and that's what would be the argument for Fernando Valenzuela. Like his numbers would give you pause, his total numbers, because again, he was good early. God knows how old he was. He's probably like other players where he lied about his age. I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying realistically, he obviously didn't have a 20-year dominant career, but like pretty important role in baseball, spreading fandom to other countries and stuff.
Right.
Don Mattingly, huge guy building the game of baseball with a lot of people back in those days, back in the 80s. Same thing with Dale Murphy. Like that stuff matters. I argue with the Roger Maris stuff too, because if you take the average baseball fan who doesn't sit there and look at it, I guarantee most people would think, oh, Roger Maris, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Like, I don't really care. People will argue with me. You have that season and you're part of that crew. I don't really care. I'm not going to lose sleep over him being in or not, but if you're one of those names, if you have that type of mark on the game, you're more so in than out for me. Like, again, Hall of Fame. And then even with Bonds, Clemens, like I don't think either of them deserve to go in the Hall of Fame, but I doesn't mean I don't think they should be in the Hall of Fame. Feel the same way about Pete Rose. Pete Rose has had plenty of chances. He's not in the Hall of Fame. He can look in the a little while ago he could have looked in the mirror and that would have been the reason he wasn't in the Hall of Fame, because it's not just the gambling. It was so many things when he had momentum. Doesn't mean he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. It is ridiculous that the all-time home run leader, these guys with strikeout records and Cy Young records and hits leaders, that's a bad look for the Baseball Hall of Fame that these guys aren't in the Hall of Fame, even though their stuff is in the Hall of Fame.
Right. They're talked about. I mean, that whole third floor is covered with all their memorabilia, numbers, talking about
the Pete Rose thing for me is just the amount of fans I've heard for years that want to see him in the Hall of Fame. So I care more about the fans of the sport of baseball who are disappointed he's not in the Hall of Fame than the fact that he never got to see himself in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because he dug his own grave with that stuff.
Right. Yeah. For me, Pete Rose did it when he got in trouble after playing the game. Just kind of like Kurt Schilling running his mouth after the game.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Schilling, like, I mean,
yeah, I don't
like 3,000 strikeouts, dominant, like not just like one little stretch. Like he was dominant in 3, 4, 5 postseasons. Like he should be in there, whether you like him or not. Like I don't really care if you like him. There's plenty of guys in the Hall of Fame I don't care for.
The Hall of Fame is not a country club per se. I mean, people want to say it, but they don't want the dregs or whatever of society. But geez, I'm sorry, they got some in there. They're just they were way back when the sports writers wouldn't talk about them because they were friends. Cap Anson is one, but I'm sorry, if you get to really start looking in on Ty Cobb, he's another. You got other guys that are back here that want some of the nicest people out there, and they're in the Hall of Fame. I mean, and like I've said before, Camp Anson just spoke out because he was well known, but he was just speaking out for other people as well. We have a couple of people like that in our community now. They hold a voice of many. So, I put all of those guys in that same category, unless they were speaking out and they kept quiet. It's not the Hall of Nice. Well, maybe it is now. Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from those guys for being. If you were an asshole, I don't care. You played well.
I mean, if
I did
anything,
not care that Jeff Kent was an asshole, but when he was a second baseman for the Mets, he was my asshole. That's like,
I was going to say, if anything, you getting that recognition makes people realize you're an asshole.
Right.
Like, no one would care about Cap. No one would know Cap Anson was Cap Anson if Cap Anson wasn't in the Hall of Fame.
Right. And also he gets talked about, even if we were saying before that these guys not getting in and keep talking about. We talk about people like Kev Hansen, yeah, it's bad, but his name is still out there. I mean, people collect his cards because they don't really know. They claim they know the history, but they don't know the history. They just know, oh, it's an old card and he is in the Hall of Fame.
And of course, everyone wants to look at like Mantle and Mays and the top. Like, we all know that you're a Hall of Famer, but not all Hall of Famers are created equal. We understand there's the top
tiers
percentage, and then you have the guys who were like amazing players. They're one of the top 500 players of all time. They're just not the same. We all know that. We see that in the hobby. Don Sutton stuff is cheap as can be. Craig Biggio, like, I'm sure there's some people who love Craig Biggio, but
y'all
throwing some of these names out.
Steve Carlton is not expensive, and he's probably the best. You put him in as the best left-handed ever.
Oh yeah, well his autographs are super cheap because he was not a wise investor, and he ain't much better than Pete Rose when it comes to signing autographs. Right. Like, if you're paying more than a few bucks.
This was my first thought, Battery. It was who voted for who. My first problem was when they were naming the list, there was the same amount of sports writers in the room as there were players. And then it was a historian. So the players were outnumbered in the room. Right then, I thought that was a problem for what was going to happen. Because then it did become because the writers tend to stick together. If there was that's what surprised me about Jeff Kent getting in was like, I thought for sure when I saw that he wasn't going to get in. But it is what it is. I'm sure all it takes is one of his buddies to be in the room. And when I saw Yount and the players they were the 80s guys. So I was like, oh, this will help Mattingly. And he just, I don't, how many votes, I know it came out, how many votes did Mattingly end up getting?
Kent got 14, Delgado got 9, and then Murphy and Mattingly both got 6. Everyone else had less than 5. So a bunch of the guys split the votes that could have gotten Mattingly and Murphy in.
Well, the guy said that each one of them, they said a name. They all had a chance to speak on that name. So if they had you don't know what goes on right now. So who knows if somebody gave money out? I don't know. Some of these players, like you said, want the best investors. And 80s paychecks are not 2025 paychecks, even for, I just saw what Tyrone Taylor's making, I think, something like $3 million a year to be the Mets, maybe one of the fourth outfielder. So, it's a different world now, and you to be in the Hall of Fame really can help you with things in life as you get older, like the circuits and stuff. And just like Eric said, by keeping a lot of people names out there really helps them too. So, because they're going to get talked about, they'll get invited to places to do autographs, to make shows, to be invited back to the parks. So, not getting in could help them as well too financially. And because they just, these guys played and they just live off the money for playing days. Now, some did better than others, and just some people are smarter with their money. Chipper was invited to vote. He declined. His words, because his bias for Murphy made him uncomfortable. I think I'm recollecting that correctly from local radio interview in Atlanta.
Fucking Chipper Jones costing Murphy a shot at the Hall. He should have gone in there and encouraged them all to vote.
Right. I if that's the case, I hope that's not the case, but I hope I'm getting that correct. Right. It is what it is, but I find it very I don't know. We're finding a lot of stuff. Well, we know that there's bad actors in our community, in the sports card or TCG card world, period. and then to just have this today just kind of really puts a bad taste in your mouth altogether. Now, I'm not saying anything nefarious happened or anything happened, but it would have been nice to get a couple of those guys in. Because right now, like you said, we don't even know if anybody's going to get in at all. Now, they voted in Kent, and they don't. How about they don't? Nobody gets in.
It'll be Jeff Kent alone. It will not be a highly viewed Hall of Fame ceremony, in my opinion.
Why? And you could have had 3 really good Hall of Famers. You could have had legit Hall of Famers.
I mean, if Mattingly got in, can you imagine how crowded
that place would be
Cooperstown would be that weekend with New York not being that far, 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is.
Right. I think people would make that pilgrimage. I think Mattingly's that guy. He's such a fan favorite, not just in New York, but all over the baseball world. I feel like people would make that pilgrimage. There is a lot of people out there that just love him. And I mean, one of my friends I grew up with in high school, I was all ready to text him tonight, congratulate him, but I don't want to text him now. He's probably sitting out in his garage. That's his man cave, drinking beer, watching TV. So, I mean, that's just, I really, it's those little things that kind of just make people feel better about things is how I look at it too. But I really wanted Murph for my buddy Battery. I haven't met Battery face to face. I will. I'm going to get to Atlanta, hopefully this year. But people like him, I love Murphy. I talked to Dale Murphy at the one time I got the meeting, and I expressed to him, first off, I saw him as a little Scott play in Richmond at the Diamond, or at Parker Field at that point. Diamond's not even there now. And I also expressed to him, hey, good luck on getting into the Hall. I believe you should already be there. He has some great numbers. Not only that, he has great hardware to go with those numbers. I don't know. But, we don't vote. And I mean, I would like for those people that didn't vote for him to come out, or somebody come out and it leaks out what was going on in the room. Why did people not vote for them? And they only have 3 votes each, right?
Yep.
So,
which I think that's too few.
Right. And how many votes did they have to get in?
12. They need 75%. So
right. So,
it's just, I don't know. It's a weird process.
It's tough to swallow for us, especially. I mean, Mike, you're getting close to 40, right?
Me?
So, yeah.
I'm like 43 now.
Oh, you're 43 now? Okay. So, damn, we've been knowing each other that long. Okay. I forgot we've known each other for that long now. These are players I grew up with.
It's no longer the old days when I used to be like, man, it'd be weird to watch a guy's entire career and then see him go in the Hall of Fame. Now it's tons of them.
Yeah. We're seeing them not getting in the Hall of Fame and getting passed over by another committee. That's how old we are now. So I think that's what it comes down to. It is our nostalgia for these players, why we feel the way we do. We just grew up with these guys or watching them and pretending we were them in the backyard, or it's hard. It is very hard to see your idol. And I don't want to see idol. That I get mad at. Not mad. I said something to somebody before because we don't idolize them. Your person that you bought cards and watched and was a fan of and bought their jerseys and hats. it's a tough pill, and I feel for the hitmans out there. I feel for Battery. I feel for the people that really, was really watching. If you're watching Hitman on John's, he was legit praying. I mean, I know he's been talking about this for 6 months now, so I feel for those guys. It's a museum. Let them all in. Plenty of cheats, racists, and players that don't belong. Bonds carried Kent. Kent couldn't carry Murphy's jock. And thank you, Rick, for coming in tonight. That is well said. And that's the thing. I don't know if I got it clear enough. They're trying so hard to get these guys in by making all these special committees, putting them on special ballots, but then they handcuff them. So, and I think a lot of it is for this reason. So to get us talking, but you're using human beings, real life talking. And it's not so much them themselves, because they played in sports. They had the humility to lose gracefully, but I think it's more on their families. I think it's more on the people around them, and and nothing's worse than after they pass away to put them in after that. It does no good for that person at that time. All seems to be saying that 49 votes were cast, which is one more than permitted. AI seems to be saying that. Okay. But anyway, I did want to touch on something in the card world tonight. I really thought we'd be more celebrating than we are about this, but I don't know. Do you watch this? Somebody's got to be watching the Professor Sport Cards dude. Don't like the name. His voice gets to me, but I like the idea that he brought this Phil guy on and let the dude bury himself. But we know that Whatnot is a bunch of crooked people on there by just having backyard breaks and let them just run hog wild. But to actually have, you're right. I like it, but so this guy just comes straight on and just talks about, Mike, how they screwed their people that paid their money to be on there, how they slid cards out of packs and it put the cards, fill the pack back with whatever they needed to. And then the guy's talking about how he's selling cards now to repackers. And he was just smiling ear to ear, and he's a school teacher, or was an ex-school teacher. It was hard to swallow. And I don't know what the limitations are on this. I talked about this yesterday a little bit. And it's not just about that and the guy telling on himself. It's just that we got to the point now where people are just straight out blatant about it and just don't care. They don't think it's any blowback to them. I mean, you are in this thing. You sell online. You do things. How's your feeling when people and characters like this come out of the woodwork? And we're getting more and more of this every day because there's just so much money involved. But how do you feel about that, Mike?
I personally haven't really paid much attention at all to, I don't even know what you're talking about because I've just been out of touch with a lot of the videos lately. But I just know there's been a lot of scams and schemes and people complaining about stuff. But it's always disappointing when people are dishonest, which happens all the time, sadly. Whatnot, that's something. I guess I still have an account. I probably haven't sold on there for 3 years. I don't know. That's one of those things I didn't even as a shopper. I don't know. I go on there and if I've gone on for a few minutes, I feel like I can't stand the over the top shows that get put on by a lot of these people. I don't see the appeal of it.
Right. Yeah, it's just straight up on there.
And if I do breaks, I always do it with the same small group of people. I don't.
Right.
I'll do my if I do vintage set breaks, there's like one guy I use.
Well,
I would never use these randoms.
So I only do breaks where I can see everything. The stuff never leaves the table.
Yeah, it's always got
All
everything
hands.
ship and all that stuff.
So this guy was talking way back in COVID. A, there was no HD. That's what he kept saying. And B, everybody was doing it with one camera. Both of those were false lies, just bullshit. I mean, I was like, it was OLD. What the hell is he talking about? There was no HD in 2019, 2020. What is he talking about? And basically, they were at the beginning of, they were there at that time was the beginning of breakers. Again, here's somebody else that came in during this time and thinking they started the wheel. It's been there since day one of YouTube or group chats or whatever. People would open up boxes. We did it as kids in the floor of a living room. I don't know what this guy was talking about half when he was saying it, but I did understand that they weighted wheels, did all this other stuff. So I was kind of, that was really, it was kind of like, it made me mad, like mad. Like I was yelling at my screen, and I usually don't get like that anymore. I take good drugs for that. It really keeps me centered. Really looking forward to 2027 when they vote on managers, executives, umpires, and anyone else no one gives a damn about. Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that, Battery. They should just be included with the other stuff. Like, just include them.
Name them. Don't even make them vote. Just be
right.
like, yeah, this guy. Like, no one gives a shit.
If they're well enough,
unless one of our favorite umpires gets in, then maybe a few people get mad. But like outside of that, no one cares.
Oh,
about
that dude ever was on. The only list he should be on is like, well, I'll just keep my mouth shut. But you know, I feel like, you know, we have a lot of just bad actors. Like it's getting worse and worse. And that's why I keep telling people, just be careful what you're doing. Like make sure I do breaks, but I do like Hobby Legends, I think on, you know, YouTube. You know, I feel like Fanatics, if there's a breaker on there, they're most likely going to be on the up and up because they got too much to lose. You know, but we just saw where PSA looks like, I mean, with the millions and millions and millions they're making, they're not above of doing crazy stuff like buying back stuff and regrading and all this stuff. It's like, you're right. And I mean, you know, I feel, you know, it's tough. It's, you know, you just have to be careful, watch yourself, and if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. You know, be smart out there. And if you ask other people what they, you know, have you ever dealt with this person? You know, and a lot of these breakers that appeal to the new people in the hobby, the flippers, the value people, they're the ones you really, because they're all in it for one reason. They're not collectors either. They're money. They just in it for one reason, making money. It's business. And that's fine, but at least pretend like you care. That's, you know, but, you know, there you have it. My other thing is, man, I'm digging update. How did you feel about open up a little bit of update that you've got to open up so far?
I did really well with jumbos, did only okay on hobbies, and from what I opened from retail blasters, did not do well at all. Opened like 2 hangers, and those were decent. But it sold really, really well. It sold better than I would have expected at a time when I had no time. So I was backed up. I probably had like 250 open orders on eBay at one point. And I was like, how am I going to get this stuff shipped?
Right. It is loaded with rookies. Now, what those rookies will be, nobody knows. Has 2 very good rookies in it. I have not seen a Kurt yet. I did open 2 hangers today. Now, I got to say, if you care about color, you're going to get a couple It's not called cracked ice anymore. What is it called?
Diamante or something in hers.
And you get the pink one. I did get, and you get it is at least color in there. Some nice insert stuff. I like the MVP insert in it. I've opened up. I got some more blasters behind me. Hangers were everywhere today around here, Eric. I'm telling if you're having trouble, someplace I forgot about in East Connecticut Sport Cards reminded us today, Mike Fabian, check out your Dick's Sporting Goods.
I guess you're supposed to check him out regardless, but
he said he has some pictures of Dick's. It scared me for a minute, but it was Dick's Sporting Goods. So
Carlisle, I did do one, but only Big Scott and Reese showed up.
Thank y'all for not showing up. And I like having private sales. It was, and
I've been spending the entire day listing on eBay. I've listed base cards and parallels and such. I'm about to list relics and autos, which were pretty poor for me. I do have team sets made up. I have like master team sets with the inserts. I did not get time to list those yet, so I do have some of those available. And I haven't touched with the minis.
The Allen and Ginters are very nice this year. I don't know. It looks like the pictures like almost like texture to them. Thank you, Brian. They're very nice. I don't know how to describe it. They just look better this year. They should, as long as we waited for them. What does tessellation mean? I am a very stupid man. So when you use words like that, I don't know what they mean, and I like to know what they mean. It's a long word. I know Tessa Blanchard, she's a wrestler. Tessellation. So Jeff, don't be that smart. I don't know what you're saying. Obviously I'm interested in Philistine set. I like the box. Yeah. Hey, and Mike brought that up as well. Does anybody remember when they had the minis as box toppers, where you got like 5 exclusives minis? Does anybody remember that year? Because in that I got a Jackie Robinson hand numbered. It was pretty cool. I don't know what tessellation means either, but it does seem funny to say a lot. Yeah. It makes me giggle.
I think there's too much stuff coming out. Once again, Topps.
Well, they waited till the end of the year, and it just.
But but now next week is, I think, Chrome Update and Topps Archives. It's like every year you got more shit comes out after the season concludes.
I thought they got rid of Archives earlier. Do we really need Archives?
They did release it again, so.
I was like, I wasn't missing it, so I was okay. I was missing I like Allen and Ginter. I like the inserts this year. I think they did a great choice. It almost feels like it's a real good representation of the original Allen and Ginter sets, right?
Well, I like the I just think the checklist, the base set's really nice. There's like a lot of Hall of Famers in it, which there always are, but there's a lot of. They mixed in a lot more of the old time guys like Christy Mathewson and some of those guys who haven't really been in sets a lot lately. That. So I like that.
Yeah, I did like that too. I'm not a big fan of past generations in my cards as that much, but it seems
I don't need them in every set. But
Allen and Ginter it fits. Right.
And then I was looking at some of the guys. I was like, why are some of these guys in it? Like truly like almost no-name guys. And I looked it up and they put a bunch of guys in there who have played all 9 positions. So when you see, I think it's Derek Sheldon for the Texas Rangers and someone from the Astros, like like guys that most people aren't going to have ever heard of. That's why they're in there, because they played all 9 positions in the same game. I was like so confused at first. I was like, why is this dude in there?
Thank you. Jeff, I have gotten smarter tonight. This is the opposite of Billy Madison. An arrangement of shapes closely fitted together, strangely of polygons in a repeated pattern. But then you misspelled pattern, Jeff. Jeff, you went through all, and then you misspelled without gaps or overlapping tessellation. Thank you very much, Jeff. You made us all smarter. I really appreciate that. Those back pages, I wonder if Fanatics is scared to release a complete horizontal platinum release.
I thought they announced it earlier this year, but now I haven't heard anything about it. So I don't know if they're making it or not.
Right. I don't understand. They waited, like we went through several months where we had like one release here, a really, really high end stuff that's just not for everybody. We just didn't have that much retail pop. And then all of a sudden, bam, bam, we're getting hit. Like it's the Christmas season. I know some people get cards and stuff for Christmas and things, but I don't think that's a main holiday gift. And I don't think people have the extra money to be putting into a lot of this stuff. So for me, it's great because I skip the holidays. I tell my family I ain't getting them nothing. They don't get me nothing.
I ain't getting you shit.
When we started handing gift cards back and forth to each other. That's when I said, I'm done. I'm out. And
I'm retired from the gift scene outside of the nieces and nephews at this point. Like the siblings at this point, we're too old. The parents, if you give them anything, they say, I don't need anything. So that's a waste of time. They don't have the energy to get you stuff. Like, forget it.
Right. And
just enjoy each other's company when you have the time.
Exactly. And enjoy your whatever little time you have off and recoup it. And that's what I do, Eric. I've already pretty much did that at Black Friday. I didn't buy much cards Black Friday. I bought video games. So but you know, I have plenty of cards, but I did find when I found the update, I bought 4 blasters. I found some hangers today. I wish I would have got a couple more. I still feel like, and Kai hit me up. He bought some of those Easter eggs. He found some of those. I think that every once in a while I'll see them around. I think that's a great purchase.
The Easter eggs or the Christmas balls? Because if anyone needs any of the Easter eggs, I still have some, and I would love to get those things.
The Easter eggs are great. The reason why is because of they have the Easter cards in them.
Yeah.
Variants. And the holiday balls, I opened one up today. Not all that great. I did get a gingerbread back card. I haven't opened much other than the advent calendar for the holiday stuff, but the holiday stuff, I'm in mixed on it. I love the candy canes and the Christmas trees and the elves in the background and all that stuff. It's a fun product. But now they're putting variations, pictures. Topps has done Topps now. Now they're putting silver, blue, green, all these different colors and all this stuff, gingerbread backs. And I just liked it before where it was a couple of variants and, it was somebody had a Santa Claus hat on. You're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I think they just started overdoing it a little bit with the holiday. And I wouldn't have been mad if they would have just done the update and put the holiday cards in that, but they put Halloween cards in the update.
Yeah, they came out too late for that.
And it came out and they pushed the release back. I like to know why they had to push the release back too.
I just don't know why they need Halloween cards in it. It's so unnecessary.
So Eric, great question, because you're going to have this. It's just not going to be on video games. It's on sports cards as well. And like I talked about it before, I think there might be an it with getting not now, but like protective stuff. Um, anytime you got to ship out of the country. So I did do some perfect or superior fit sleeves last night, and it was only $6 for shipping. So well, too bad. That wasn't bad at all. But yes, I canceled some orders because of shipping. When I got the uh, to the actual payment and my shipping costs were in there, that shipping cost was actually more than the price of the games. Now I it was out of Canada, one in Canada, one in Europe that I was looking at that I buy games from. Their shipping costs have like tripled since when I last time I bought. I did buy some from another company that I bought enough where it was free shipping. I think out of Asia. Um, but I am lucky enough to have it's called Limited Run Games in Cary, North Carolina. It's like an hour and a half from me, right outside of Raleigh. And what's good is I can double dip because there's right next 5 blocks away is a huge card store that has it's two sides and they got two separate doors, but it's no wall in the middle. So they have a TCG or a non-sports TCG side and a sports side. And that place is packed all the time. They have 10 tables, 12 tables in there. People going through boxes. There's people playing TCG. And it's just a lot going on. They have a ton of Pokemon. That place is that's always busy on that side. I traded in my my Judges and Otanis for a box of logo refractors and some one touches. So I hate to call them freaks. I did buy a lot of Chrome, but I had fun with Chrome this year. I think Fanatics very quickly figured they had 1 year where retail sucked. The year that first year we had the Airbnb in Chicago, Mike. I can't remember what year that was, but the Chrome sucked. Like we were getting shit. Chrome boxes,
like literally nothing.
But the retail was really good because everything has a special insert in it, but sepia or something.
You at least feel like you're getting something.
Right. There always had something in a Ray Wave. That new insert was all in retail. So you always felt like you're getting something. And then you hit the occasional auto of a pitcher, rookie pitcher that you don't care about, but still it's there. And some color was sprinkled in. So, sepia, whatever how you say it. I like those. I actually though got I graded a Ohtani from this year, and I got the Phantom Nail imprint on my card PSA. I got a 6, and I knew as soon as I saw it, there had to be a flaw, and there is a nail imprint on the edge of the card right here where you were holding it. If I could get it in screen. So right there, there's a nail imprint. And it's not for me. So, yeah. So there you have it. I do have like a hard hit card as well, a Bryce Harper shadow etch card. That I got an 8 on. So these are, from my understanding, when I looked at them, they were very tough pulls, but it's a beautiful card. even though it's in that ugly, um, that
Softball
Philly
uniform.
city, huh? The softball uniform.
uniform.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I did get a case hit for Star Wars as well. So, um, not a terrible return at PSA 6. They really have to do something about that phantom nail imprints that come back. Chili uniform, PSA bin cards, putting creases in them, taking them out of the card. Yeah, and they say they don't want the easy pull thing out. Everybody thought they cut them. I don't. It's plain as day a nail imprint. I've gotten them before. This isn't my first one. And yeah, hashtag take the tops. Yeah. So it is what. Now I wish I would have handed it in with the other ones to get, because that one is worth $40 for trade-in value. I think the Sepia is, and was that 20? I can't remember. I could have got some more one touches. So because they don't care, they don't even look at them. The guy looked at them, counted them to make sure what they were, just what type of. So they did have a Judge refractor. So they were just looking at to see what they were, and that because I told him, he just made sure and said, and I thought it was just on the Topps boxes, and I thought it was only up to $100 the way the thing read. He said he gave me the total return on anything in the store. So I was like, I was looking for WNBA, and they didn't have. He looked at me like I had my second head just popped out of my back.
That must be how everyone looks at Ed.
Right. I was like, you got WNBA? He's like, what? But yeah, I ended up getting, and then I saw the logo refractor box. Got that. And like I said, and I got a full sleeve of one touches. So I was pretty happy with that. I got something for them. Better than putting them on a sales site and everybody trying to get them for $1.50. And there's another thing. I don't know what's going on, what's in the water. I could put a card for literally $1.50, and somebody's going to send me a thing for $1 or $1.25. I've had that twice here in the last week, which reminds me, I got a card I got to package today. I don't understand what's going on. Mike's had the same thing. Mike Fabian's had the same thing. It's really weird. I gotta win.
Well, my favorite is when something's a little bit underpriced in terms of it's going up, and I'll get people who make me offers. It's like, dude, I've gotten 10 offers. It's going to sell. Then they'll send me a question after it sells. Like, what happened? You were a dumb jackass. You should have bought it. It was $5, $10 underpriced. You tried to save 50 cents, and now you lost out on it.
Right.
Good luck buying the next one.
Or they'll send you it's a card for $30, and they'll send you $2 best offer.
Well, that happens all the time too. I had some Otanis listed for about $25, and I kept getting offers for $6, and I just kept replying back, $26.98. Yeah. I can waste your time as much as you can waste my time, asshole.
Yeah. That is great. But before I leave tonight, it is the holiday season. Everybody be smart out there. If you're going to buy online, be smart on what you're purchasing. Be protective of your stuff and your information. And if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And I just want everybody to have a happy holiday. I will see ya. I might be showing up on some other channels as well here to end the year. And I need to I got a couple of people that are asking to come on here. So, we're in the year. I have moved past the milestone again in subs. I want to thank each one of y'all that have been with me for I'm almost on my 9th year. And man, it's been fun, and I can't wait for the next 9 years. So, uh, thanks to everyone that has been on. If you've been here for 1 day or 1,000 days, it doesn't matter. Thank each one.
I think I'm over 1,000 days.
You are. You are. So until next time, like, share, sub.
I might even put out some videos soon. Though I didn't record anything today.
Well, Mike, you've been busy. We got to get you past the holiday season, and so we can have Mike back.
I got a CGC video I have to do. I got an order in from Big Scott 35.
It's fun order too.
It's mostly shit that your average person will be like, "What kind of
asshole sends this in?" I liked it. Yeah,
but yeah, the card fans will enjoy. Yeah, SGC order is supposed to arrive tomorrow, so I should get that up. I have some cards for some other people and some fun stuff for me, and I got some mail that's been stacking up. So yeah. At some point I'll do a video. So if anyone is feels like they have a hole in their life because they haven't seen a lot of nonsensical Phillies cards on YouTube lately, I will have you covered at some point.
And if you haven't, check out Hitman 23. He did a mail day today, but Saturday he had a great mail day. You'll get knowledge and also his excitement for that one card he's been hunting for since 2010. Congratulations to him on that card.
That's always a good feeling. I've had that where you're looking for something for a set that's just you never see, and then when you see it, you're like, oh, and then you have to find a way to get it.
Yeah, so congratulations to him on that find, and that's his story to tell. So please check him out for that. And until next time, like Jeff said, see ya.